The difference between a bar and a church, the things they have in common. The difference between a bar and a church, bars and churches, and the things they have in common. Hello, y'all. I'm Dianna Brianne. I don't give advice, suggestions, information, recommendations. I just share with you my perspective on different topics, as is with this one. I hope you like, share, subscribe. The channel names are pinned to the top of the description box or the top of the comment section below. Well, I got to thinking about bars and churches and what they do actually have in common. I remember Grandma saying, in every bar and in every church, you're going to have dysfunction. And you're going to have some people that are nicer than others, and some people are not all that nice. And Grandma often said people are never as they first appear, good or bad. You can meet great people in bars, you can meet great people in church, and you can meet nasty people in church, and you can meet nasty people in bars. And meaning that you can meet all kinds of people anywhere. Now, do some places cater more to certain kinds of people and certain kinds of beliefs and certain kinds of activities? Of course they do. And yet, in any kind of situation, you can meet a nasty person. Grandma often said the only difference between a bar and a church is sometimes in a church, people cover up how they really are. And in a bar, often, you're kind of more alert that you're going to have all kinds of personalities out there. But when you go to church, you often think everybody's perfect. Everybody's going to be just perfect and be perfect people. And yes, I do believe that people go to church with good intentions. And yet there are people that go to church that are far from perfect. And maybe they're personalities that we wouldn't even want to get to know beyond that church setting, or maybe not even in the church setting for that matter. It's the same way with a bar, but it's the same way with the workplace. It's the same way with anywhere. There are people that lead dysfunctional lifestyles, and everybody has their own issues, their own personality quirks, their own personality differences, no matter where you go, whether it's a neighborhood setting, whether it's a social group, whether it's a church, whether it's a bar. So I think that the big thing Grandma was trying to point out is that just because it's a church doesn't mean that you have perfect people in that church. And it doesn't mean that you might not come across some dysfunction in that church. Okay, but you'll also come across wonderful people in that church that may not be so perfect. Okay, and the same way with a bar, you may meet wonderful people in a bar, but they're probably not going to be perfect. The same way as a job setting, the same way in a neighborhood, the same way anywhere. So when it comes down to it, people are never as they first appear, good or not so good, as Grandma would say. And she would say that everybody has issues, everybody has problems, and some places attract more problems than other places, and yet all environments have a smoke screen in front of them. So you really often don't see what people are about or what they're going through or what they're dealing with. In some situations, we just think people are going to be perfect because it's, the place that we're going, like a church, represents, perfection, so to speak. And yet often people that go to church lead very imperfect lives or flawed lives. And so I think, that was basically what Grandma was saying. You can meet the same person in a bar or in a church. And it may even be the same person that goes to the bar and goes to the church. So she said people are not perfect. And so we always have to remember that when we meet people, there's always a story behind other people. And there's always, everybody gets their issues. And some people are more wonderful than others, and some people are not so nice. And that's just the way it is. Well, from my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe. And I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.